Hello, Mass MAGA community. This is David Lopez, founder and host of the Mass MAGA podcast. Welcome to Season 1, Episode 7, released September of 2025. This episode contains a personal message to anyone listening or watching that has an interest in fighting back. I'm going to start out by just telling you right from the heart that I am pissed off. I am pissed off because of the murder of Irina Zarutska by that subhuman animal released by an unelected, unqualified social justice warrior magistrate. I'm pissed off because of the murder of Charlie Kirk, and I'm pissed off by the celebration by people in education, medicine, law enforcement, and the military, and others. So my career history includes sales, sales management, and sales training positions. I'm always focused on developing actionable, results-based sales ideas. Today, I'm going to be reviewing 3 sales ideas designed to fight back that anyone listening can act on starting tomorrow morning. So sales idea number 1. The issue is voter integrity. Most conservative and unenrolled voters are concerned about voting irregularities in Massachusetts and nationwide. Rather than just whining about it, maybe take some action instead. So here's a practical way to fight back. There's a gentleman named Jeff Cohen. Jeff and others have created an organization called massforfairelections.org. It's MA, the number 4, the word fair, and the word elections. So it's MA, if you will, massforfairelections.org. This is a nonpartisan fair elections group. They're focused on voter roll accuracy and a fair elections process. There's a voter ballot question that's coming up, and the signature gathering process has begun for voter ID in the 2026 election. The goal is 100,000 signatures by November 1st. Jeff Cohen did a great interview on the Mass MAGA podcast in August of 2025. Check it out for more information. So the sales idea is this. Log on to massforfairelections.org, add your email, and volunteer to gather as many signatures as you can. Honest elections will be a good start or a good step in taking back the Commonwealth. Also, you want to get acquainted with your local GOP registrar. If there isn't one in your city or town, find one and encourage him or her to volunteer as a GOP registrar. So, sales idea number 2. The issue is liberal lunatics in the education space, in the medicine space, law enforcement, etc. So the bad news first. After the murder of Charlie Kirk, numerous posts started to appear all over social media celebrating this cowardly act. These posts came from educators at all levels, nurses, doctors, law enforcement, military personnel, and others. The good news is once this began, hundreds, if not thousands, of patriots began to alert the employers of these individuals, and they're getting fired. Some of them are posting videos crying about it, which I love, frankly. So if you want to take revenge, let's just call it economic revenge. The sales idea is this. Locate content celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Contact the company or institution via X, email, phone, or visit. and ask that company's representatives just three simple questions. One, ask if the individual is still affiliated with the company or institution, because if they're gone, you don't have to worry about it. Question two is ask if the comments reflect their core values as an organization and does it reflect their mission statement. Question three is very simply ask what they intend to do about it. So, what this sales idea is not is do not defame anyone, do not threaten anyone, do not libel anyone, do not slander anyone. So just keep this professional, take this action, and sit back and watch the fun. So sales idea number three. The issue is the lack of participation by conservatives in local politics. Your voice really matters, and there's a ton of opportunities for conservatives to serve locally in Massachusetts. Keep in mind, this is coming out September of 2025. In November, there are local elections. So why does this matter? Obviously, Massachusetts leans progressive at the state level, but local governance offers a powerful and often overlooked opportunity for civic impact. Town and cities, committees influence daily life in terms of zoning, education, public safety, budget allocation, and more. These boards shape the values and future of communities. If we're not at the table, our perspectives just simply go unheard. Remember, Tip O'Neill said, all politics are local. I mean, it's a cliche at this point, but it's true. So in Massachusetts, the towns are governed, as I mentioned, by volunteer-led boards, planning boards, finance, etc. Most positions are either appointed or elected with minimal turnout or competition. In many towns, even one dedicated individual can become a key voice of reason, balance, and fiscal responsibility. So here's a data point for you. In many towns, under 10% of voters participate in local elections. In smaller towns, open positions go sometime, unfilled. So just look at this. Now, in November of 2025, I guess you can call it like an off year, the competition for these positions is very low. So the opportunities to get in there and influence is dramatic. So local boards often lack ideological diversity, leaning to one-sided policy decisions. Values that we hold, like fiscal discipline, local control, constitutional rights, parental involvement in education, they go unrepresented, rather. We can advocate for responsible spending, push back against overreach, and support accountability. So as a sales trainer, I always focused on handling objections, right? If so, anyone listening to me right now, you're in sales, you deal with objections all the time. So as I go out and speak to RTCs and other great individual organizations and talk to them about this issue, I get back three primary objections. So I want to answer them right now and shoot them down. So one of the biggest objections I get is, hey, I'm not qualified. First of all, most boards welcome people with just common sense, reliability, and a willingness to learn. But that aside, you can't tell me that you're not as qualified as some of the individuals in these positions now. They're destroying us. So right there, you're more qualified than they are. The other objection I hear all the time is, hey, I don't have any time. Many committees just meet once or twice via Zoom. It's an hour, 2 hours. So, I'm not buying that objection. And the last is, I don't want to deal with politics locally. Well, the reality is local service is often less partisan and more solutions focused on issues relating to that specific town. So your time and perspective is really more valuable than you think. So I want to talk about opportunities at the local level in terms of boards and committees. The planning board, what does the planning board do? It handles zoning, land use, development approvals. Finance advisory committees, they handle municipal budgets, town meeting preparation. School committee, curriculum policy, budgeting, and school administration. Think about the number of teachers at all levels, administrators, professionals, deans and colleges that responded negatively in terms of Charlie Kirk. We got to get people on these boards. Conservation Commission, Wetlands Protection, Board of Health. Think about what happened during COVID in terms of the COVID tyranny. We need people on the Board of Health. Select Board and City Council, executive oversight. Library, historical, or cultural councils. Think about what Trump is doing with the Smithsonian and how the Smithsonian and other institutions like that have moved to the left. So we need a pushback at the local level. And then Zoning Board of Appeals as an example. And a little known fact, a lot of cities and towns offer short-term task forces and ad hoc working groups that focus on a single issue. So it's a one and done type thing. So some real world examples of some of the impact you can have locally. A finance committee member can push back on a bloated budget proposal. A school committee member can ensure parents' voices are heard on curriculum issues. A planning board member can promote property rights and responsible growth. These aren't theoretical impacts, they're real world. I'll just give you an example. When I was chair of the Stowe Republican Town Committee a few years ago, we noticed an opportunity for the Housing Committee. Nobody was running. So we had an individual conduct what's called a write-in candidate. That person won the election with 21 votes. We also realized that the town of Stowe didn't have a GOP registrar for 3 years. So we finally got someone to volunteer, and that individual's doing a great job. So here's how to get involved, excuse me, for step 3 or for sales idea number 3. Visit your local town website, look for boards and committees or volunteer opportunities. Identify your interests. Do you care more about education, finance, land use, whatever it is? Just simply attend a meeting and apply to run. Okay. So if you want to think about it, here's my challenge to you for sales idea number 3. Over the next 30 days, okay, this is coming out, I believe, September 16th, 2025. Over the next month, my personal challenge is this. Choose one committee that interests you. Attend one local meeting over the next 30 days and talk to one friend about joining. If it's not you, then who? Okay, so I want to give you a little quote as I begin to wrap up this special edition podcast. We are reduced to this dilemma, either to sit quiet under this and every burden that our enemies shall see fit to lay upon us as good-natured slaves, or rise and resist this and every other plan laid for our destruction as becomes wise free men and women. That's a quote by Sam Adams. So just to wrap up this special podcast episode, the Mass MAGA ecosystem is designed to be a resource for RTC, RCC chairs and members, MAGA, GOP, and MAHA activists, as well as local, regional, and statewide candidates. Feel free to submit any local committee information like public meetings, charity events, chair searches, any online resources like Facebook groups, websites, etc., and any candidate information. Information can be submitted on the massmaga.com website, or you can reach me directly at info@massmaga.com. You can build the Mass MAGA community by following the Mass MAGA GOP account on X, forwarding this email to like-minded patriots, or submitting relevant information to massmaga.com. Okay? Let's make Massachusetts great again. Thank you so much. Take these sales ideas and run with them.